Hello, welcome to the Customer Journey Hub for Salesforce.com overview. This is a platform overview, and we're just going to stop there. Normally, do a little bit more, but I'm going to put this on the Salesforce.com App Exchange for anybody who's interested to learn a little bit more. This is just to get you introduced to what the Customer Journey Hub is for, what it is, what's involved in it, all that type of stuff. So let's go ahead and start with all the different parts to the Customer Journey Hub. So first is Salesforce. Salesforce.com is where the Customer Journey Hub rests. You do not actually need Salesforce.com to use these tools. What you see on this slide, learnatlibrary.com, HCP Portal, ShareVent, Investor Hubs, and BuilderBox.co. All of those can be used individually. Many of our clients do use those individually, but the Customer Journey Hub was designed to tie it all together to allow you to create we'll launch your own custom domains and use those tools so that you can have a completely data-driven customer journey for your organization. You can be there to support sales, marketing, communications, all different types of things, legal, all of that is there for you. So Salesforce.com is where the Customer Journey Hub lives, but all of these other tools are individual portals which can be used with the hub or they can be used on their own. So what are they? So if you look at these top four here, Learn It Library, HCP Portal, ShareVent, Investor Pubs, the technology itself is the same across the board, meaning it's the same portal technology built for content management, communications management, workflow creation, and workflow management. So learnitlibrary.com is a very general version. It's for mostly customer success, employee success, partner success programs where you're going to have some type of educational or learning type of thing, a knowledge base. It can also be used for some relatively basic business process workflows that are integrated into Salesforce. So if you want to share content and see engagement, if you want to require document uploads, I'll give you an example of where Learn It Library is being used. Some of the marketing agencies that we work with have started to use Learn It Library where they have a customer onboarding process where they need to gather a lot of content from their customers at the start of the project. So they created a workflow and then they just assign that to a customer and the customers will go in, they start uploading content, it organizes the content for them, they have it there, they can manage it, they can ask questions around it of their customers and helps them to engage with each other, while Salesforce.com is gathering all the data with that engagement and they're using that to plot out a customer journey and see where their customers are at. So they've closed the deal, but now they're doing the actual service. They have an onboarding process. They use Learn It Library to build that. They use Salesforce to manage, to gather the data and visualize that process as it happens. HCPportals.com is our first platform. It actually predates the customer journey platform, so we built the Salesforce side after. HCP stands for healthcare providers. That is a medical education platform for sharing regulated content. So a lot of content that is shared between, say, a biotechnology company and a healthcare provider is going to be it is under the FDA regulations. So they have to be very careful on how they share it, what they say, how things are referenced. What HCPportal.com provides is the ability to support all that type of media that's specific to the life sciences and for healthcare providers, and to also manage and gather the correct data and store the data correctly to meet the FDA regulations in terms of medical education. We've done more than 40 brands with HCPportals.com, including one of the 10 largest brands on the planet, with more than 3 million interactions with healthcare providers since 2018. ShareVent.org is for events and conferences, content and communications platform for events and conferences. And then Investor Pubs is very similar to HCP Portals in that it's for SEC regulated content. So regulated content, again, building communities where you're going to share content that has a lot of requirements related to it. You need to know exactly who's looking at it, when they looked at it, what the version was, and you need that data to be stored and persist for a long time. And Investor Pubs allows you to do that through both the presentation of the content, the management of the community, but also storing the data, gathering the engagement data, which happens in Salesforce and Investor Pubs, and then also storing it long time, which happens through our integrations to AWS S3. And then Buildabox.co is a completely unique platform, different from the other four, in that it is an event production and execution platform. I'm not even going to get started, except that it also integrates into the Customer Journey Hub and any kind of events, sales meetings, presentations, conferences, anything that you're doing, meetings and events, anything you're doing of that type. Buildabox is there to help you both produce a really awesome customer experience and also gather all the data from that. So one of the things that customers who use Buildabox are doing is they want to develop they first off automate all the contact gathering from different events and meetings that they take place for sales and marketing processes. It does that, so it automatically feeds that data into Salesforce, but then also it gathers a per user, per person, per attendee, per event attendee cost basis. So everything from t-shirts, pens, to a meal that they've had, to any kind of inserts or publications that you print out for them. Basically, the entire cost of a prospect throughout that process can be captured through Buildabox through different types of experiences that are created. It's all forwarded to Salesforce, and then you have that for your analytics, so you can see how much an account actually, what the cost of acquisition is for an actual account. All of these are the parts of the customer journey platform, and then there's the customer journey hub itself, which is in Salesforce. It's a Salesforce app on the App Exchange, and we can also launch your own custom domain. So if you have some type of knowledge base that you'd like to create, or a learning program or something, and you want to do that not on HCP Portals or Learn It Library, but on your own domain, we can do that as well and integrate that into the Customer Journey Hub very easily with code-free integrations. So these are the parts. Now, what does this all actually mean? So to get a little bit deeper into it, this is a pretty typical map of a customer journey. If you work in marketing, you've definitely seen this. Sales marketing, you see this all the time. There are 5 stages: awareness, consideration, purchase, retention, advocacy. These stages are different between business to business versus business to a consumer, but they still exist in both processes. For the most part, the Customer Journey Hub is really, it could be for consumers, but for the most part, we've done mostly business to business or more complex types of sales like HCP Portals. Biotechs have a lot of involvement with healthcare providers. That's kind of our sweet spot. Investor publications has usually that's like capital markets and things like that. They have a lot of engagement with the people who are using their products. So that's where the Customer Journey Hub really makes a lot of sense. And this is the map that we follow. So if you start with this first part, we don't have a lot to do with that. Press releases, traditional ads, word of mouth, online ads, emails. Pay-per-click. Not really what we're doing, but you take the data that we gather and you put it next to this data, and you get the rest of this, which is we have things like blogs, media, could have an email process or program using the portals because there's a lot of email tools and content. Email-based content marketing is big in our platform, in the sense that as a publishing platform, let's say Learn It Library is a learning content publishing platform. You can give that access to any customer who's gone through some type of consideration. We actually automate this through a combination of Buildabox.co, which you would introduce at an event. So let's say you have a sales presentation. You use Buildabox.co for the event planning, production, and execution. And then you can automatically put your prospects into Learn It Library, give them access to specific content. They subscribe to that content, and then through updates to that content, they're going to get those messages. You've added into your consideration phase some more capabilities. I think of Learn It Library as something like a blog, a combination of blog and media, and their ability to start reviewing their product and get proposals and things of that nature. Purchase. So they're going to go to a website. Again, Learn It Library and our portals are similar to websites. Stores, not so much a store. Forums, forums are built into the Learn It Library and all these other tools that we have, or most of these tools that we have. And then once you get to that purchase, on business to business, you're going to have proposals. You're going to have contracts. You're going to have signatures, e-signatures. We have DocuSign integrations for e-signature processes. You're going to have usually some type of customer onboarding for a business to business. We're built really specifically for that onboarding. So once they're in there, they start getting onboarded. They follow the process that's built in the platform. All of that engagement is automatically sent over to the Customer Journey Hub in Salesforce so that you have the underlying data of the customer journey. You can actually plot it out and see how it's working. And then forums, groups, and loyalty programs. So we have forum capabilities. You can build groups, user groups, functional groups within these tools, all of which integrates into Salesforce. So you can start to build different communities, groups, and manage that customer support side of it to a degree, along with other tools. And then advocacy. Not quite what we're doing, but you can use buildabox.co for advocacy, and you have to really see how it works and how we build out the customer experience in there. But all of this is integrated into the Customer Journey Hub so that you can see we're creating data based upon these different activities for every single customer that's going through this process. So from consideration really out to retention and advocacy, we have tools through these different platforms to meet those needs. And since many different portal platforms and many different tools can integrate into the same Customer Journey Hub, you can have this across many different, basically whatever your needs are. It's very flexible, put it like that. So just a couple of partners and brands we've worked with. So we've worked with some really large companies like Tralcard and Gilead, Ironshore, Purdue. These are just a few of the brands that we've had. HCP Portals is the one of the main tools for Engage HCP. So by Tralcard, which is a healthcare life sciences company that works with healthcare providers, we provide hcpportals.com as one of the bases for a lot of their learning. Remdesivir, Veklury is one of the main brands that we work with, which has been for COVID-19. It's the FDA antiviral approved COVID-19. It's a very large brand, global brand. And these are some of the successes that we've had since our formal launch in 2018. We really started in 2017, but we launched in 2018. So I wanted to show you now what we're actually talking about here. So let's go ahead and look at what the Customer Journey Hub looks like. So if you go into, this is Salesforce. I'm using a little bit of a classic, but you can do this in Lightning as well. This is the general dashboard for the Customer Journey Hub. It's called Media Manager in the App Exchange and on the app, but you can change that name. So what this dashboard is showing me are all of the presentations, slides. So these are media or content that is in a portal. Who the speaker would be, whoever owns that content, because usually we think in terms of whoever's delivering the presentation is the speaker. And what's the breakdown of the views. So, I mean, all of these are actually, this is just a demo environment, so it's all the same person. But you can see here the main content, 34% of the time has been about the Ukraine Telehealth Relief Fund. So this is a portal that we created in combination with an organization that does Ukraine support. And you can see where that content is, and then click into here and it will actually take you, and you can start to log in, and it'll take you into the content itself in the specific portal. Now, if you look, I actually have many portals connected. Some of them are Learn It Library, some of them are HCP portals. So if I go in here, I can see these are the content and engagement that I have for the FMI portal. Here's some additional information that you can see. How many slides, presentations, users, and views are in a particular piece of content. What are the top slides? This is one I just created yesterday. So you can see the number of slides that exist and the total count. And then assignments. So one of the main uses for this tool, let's go to all organizations, is to build out a workflow or build out some type of course and then enroll your users through onboarding, your customers through onboarding, or your partners, employees in the success program through onboarding. And then you can monitor their engagement and completion of whatever you've built in terms of a workflow. So this is showing you every single course that exists. So we have a patient community, and then the progress that each user had in their engagement, what is currently remaining. You could do searches, and then here you have some snapshots. Here you have what is being viewed most frequently in terms of content. And then I can go in down to the user, and I can start to dig in and see when that user completed things, what they looked at, what's the current status, how many times did they view a particular piece of content, and get a better feel for what type of content is having actual use. What we've been doing and working on is the use of AI underneath this. So this all integrates into AWS, the use of AI and machine learning to evaluate what are the most effective key messages, or what are the most effective messages in a course. So if you have a customer onboarding program, you can start to figure out what actually needs to be removed, what isn't having value, where are the most questions being asked, because all of these have a form associated with them, virtual parking lot as we call them. And then get that kind of feedback and input out of large populations so you can know exactly which content is being most effective in terms of your customer journey support. This is showing us basically these are all snapshots, these are dashboards. But I'm going to go a little bit further down. So these are all the different portals that I currently have integrated into this Salesforce instance. So I have probably a dozen or so portals. Each one of them is its own portal like this. So if I go into here, I'm going to go and look at this one. Each one of those portals can have its own discrete courses, content, users, different types of users, different types of integrations, subscriptions, document management. Every one is specific to itself, and we launch these very quickly. So this is not a long lead time to get a new portal. You want a new portal, you can actually go to Learn It Library, launch one right now for yourself, and you can do an integration in almost no time, which means that you can use this as you could basically create a new portal for every single customer and have their own little engagement area. And then all of that data can feed back into Salesforce and the Customer Journey Hub. So you can see that particular customer and their journey, and then take that, aggregate all that data again across each other, and really build out a very clear picture of all of your customers and how they are progressing, because not everyone may be the same. Now let's go to Media Manager users. So these are every single person that is created in your portal. So let's say you have an event, you use buildabox.co to create and produce that event, and then you automatically put them into a portal where you're going to share some additional information about your products and services, give them the opportunity to ask questions in the forums in that portal that's integrated. Every single person who is created in that portal, every content will be created in your integrated Salesforce as a new Media Manager user, and then you can convert them over to contacts and accounts if you like, as well as with Buildabox. And so these are all the different, every user across every integrated portal gets created here. And then in addition to that, every single piece of content, every workflow that you create in every portal, it creates that model automatically in Salesforce. In the Customer Journey Hub, so that you know exactly, you have a data-based model of every single integrated portal and what content currently exists there. And through that combination of the user, the Media Manager user, the contact, and the model of every piece of content and workflow that exists within your portals, we create interaction records every time one of those users logs into a portal and starts to engage any of that content or that interface. We are keeping or creating records to show who the user was and what content they engaged and what they did, so that we have a comprehensive record. Now, that's how we meet the regulatory demands for HCP portals. That's how we meet the regulatory demands for investor pubs. And that's also how we are able to plot out an entire data-driven customer experience or customer journey, because we're seeing all of the content that they're engaging as they do it, and we know what order it occurs in, so that you can see how it currently works. You put that content out there, and then you can make adjustments based upon what's most effective. Now, how do you use this? use it to build a better customer experience. So this is interaction activity completion records, which for HCP portals, for healthcare providers, this is every single user, every healthcare provider, and the content, that's the activity. And this shows you information about that activity, what the presentation is, what section it's in, what the name of the content is. This all updates automatically. So if I change the name in the portal, it'll update here. If I change the presentations and sections, if I move it, it'll automatically update. It'll create new records and deactivate or inactivate all the old ones. So it is a 100% self-managed connection between every single portal that you launch, all the content and activities, engagement, or content activities, workflows within those portals to the customer journey hub. And what you're seeing here, so for these users, so for this user, that activity, they completed it, which typically means they viewed it on this date and time. And then it will create a new record waiting for them to do it again. And as that happens, you'll start to build out this type of data set. Now, what do you do with this data set? Take visualization tools. Aside from what we have in our general dashboard, you take this and use any type of visualization tools. Use the reports and dashboards in Salesforce, and you start to build out an idea of or a plot or a visualization of how the customer journey is progressing, and you can see what every single customer is doing. Like, how are they being acquired? Who's acquiring them? What type of engagements are they having? What type of events are they having? This is more the portal side. The Build-A-Box side has its own tables and objects, and that's through Build-A-Box orders. So you can see every order that comes through and who the order was. So these are all the different orders for this user, and you get that account. And here was a thing that they had an engagement with. They were building their own custom swag bag. Here's what they selected. Here was the price for it. And then you can roll that up into a report and start to see, let's see if we have it here. Things like this. So these are all the selections so this prospect here, they currently have $17.25 that has been spent on them. Here's how they had surveys. So here's the completion of their survey. That's the question. That was the answer. Question, answer. Here's where we had a cost. So we had a duffel bag that we gave them. We had a golf kit that we gave them, and the combination was $17.25 for them. And then I can roll up all of those contacts or accounts, the prospects, into a total cost under an account. So we see that right here for the sample lead experience. My total cost was $132.45. And then I put that against any kind of revenue that's gained, and I can start to see, what is it costing us to actually, what's our cost of acquisition? That's how Build-A-Box works. This is one report. We have a number of reports, and you can build custom reports as well. So this is that's about 22 minutes. It's pretty long. That is the basics of what the customer journey hub for Salesforce.com is, how it works. Works along with LearnItLibrary.com, HCPportals.com, ShareEvent.org, InvestorPubs.com, and BuildABox.co. As well as any custom domain that our customers would like to launch for themselves. I'll stop there. Thank you.